Buff Nation.
Let's go.
And for this week only, Omaha!
We are.
Yeah,
we're actually in Omaha.
Yeah, we're in Omaha.
Welcome into the DNVR pregame show for Colorado versus Nebraska. Presented to you by Game Time. Download the app with the promo code BUFFS, BUFFS, for $20 off your first purchase, and also Coors Light.
Brian, will you open up the...
Get it delivered straight to your door by going to CoorsLight.com/DNVR.
No, look at that.
Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. We made it, guys. We're here.
Someone pointed out something in the chat already that I'd never really considered. And that's that you can't spell twerk without RK.
Hey. That's
profound.
There we go.
That's profound.
There we go.
I'm not even against that.
I'm not either. You know, I love it. I had not considered that.
Oh, this shot is interesting. This is not what I was expecting to see.
Yeah, wasn't expecting
24 hours out. How's everyone feeling?
More importantly, how are you feeling?
I feel fantastic, Unc.
You good?
Yes.
All right.
I feel amazing. Kind of jealous that Allie and RG just cracked a beer.
I mean, if there's any time that you could have one, you know.
All right. Give me that. Give me some Blue Mountains.
And say it the way you say it, the only way you can say it.
Oh, one Coors Light, please.
There it is. Yes. There it is. Game Time, Coors Light. Got Circle K back there. We're on the road again.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. To Hate Week.
To Hate Week. Hate Nebraska. We're in Nebraska. What an interesting drive. Shout out to the driver.
Shout out Tyler.
My God, Captain Tyler. Did he do the damn thing or what?
Captain Zisk went crazy on the road.
He went
really crazy. There was no point that I felt like I got to watch the road too. Like I got to co-pilot this thing. There was no point. I was relaxed the entire time.
He was so good at driving, I fell asleep in the back.
Yeah. I went in. There's like a little, it just looks like a closet. Turns out there's a bed in there. I just laid down,
chilling,
relaxed.
Were you able to stretch out in that thing?
Stretch out would be
a stretch?
A stretch, for sure. But, you know, I was able to, I would say curl up.
Yeah.
You know,
I love it. Shout out to the driver, Captain T. And T is for terrific.
Shout out to the bed in the back, though, because I was able to stretch out. It was great.
Yeah, we got footage of that.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Coming soon.
I can't wait for that one, then.
We're in Nebraska, boys, and they're saying that we're going to lose by 7 or more.
They are. That's what they are saying.
They are saying that. I tend to disagree. Don't know where they got that math from, but we're going to talk about it this show.
We are?
Yeah, we are.
Where do we want to start with this game?
Well, before we start with this game, we didn't start with where we are. We started that we're in Omaha.
Yep.
But we're in the parking lot of the team hotel. The team has arrived. The team is staying in Omaha, Nebraska, driving to Lincoln about 50 miles tomorrow for the game, but kind of sequestered here. Not really sequestered. This is a popping area.
It is.
There's a lot of activities.
We have so much room for activities now.
We do.
Step brothers.
Yeah,
we just become best friends?
We did.
Yeah, I wish the people could see what the bus actually looks like right now because she has spread her wings. Earlier today, we were sitting on these same couches, and our legs were kind of like woven across from each other. Now, I couldn't even hit you guys with my leg if I wanted to.
We couldn't do it.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're in the team hotel parking lot. They're right behind us. They have arrived. They're about to eat dinner, going to team meetings throughout this show. Hopefully, schedule-wise, some guests and some players are going to pull up into the Hot Tour Express.
You never know who's going to show up on the DNVR pregame show.
You never know.
We don't even know.
No.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah, I mean, we talked to like 20 potential guests who are all coming.
Yep.
A random person could just walk up to this door and hop on the show right now.
Random people did walk up when we pulled up and said they were watching on the road right with us.
Yes.
Yeah. That was my favorite part of this whole drive was the people driving by, honking, waving their Buffs flag out the window, showing their Buffs hat.
And then tweeting, hey, that was me.
Yeah, that was epic. And then, we ran into people at a truck stop who were like, oh, that was us who drove by in the gray SUV. That's so awesome.
It was.
They were popping up in the chat in the last live stream, too.
They were.
That's amazing.
It's good stuff, man.
Shout out Buff Nation.
Hey, so this is I'm going to lean on you guys.
Okay.
Because this is my first time, not just for this game, this rivalry. This is my first time ever in Nebraska.
Same.
We're sorry.
Really?
Yes.
Did we just become best friends again?
We've been best friends. I don't know why you're acting like we're not.
Yeah, we do have room for activities, though.
I would just like to personally apologize for knowing what this place is and still inviting you guys to come.
I will tell you this. My beloved hometown of Jackson, Mississippi, we are known for some bad roads. Mm-hmm. The roads coming here, for it to be the interstate highway, my God. Is there any paving going on?
I don't know. I think they're just husking corn.
Yeah, they only have money for corn out here.
It's a lot of damn corn.
Corn
man.
needs.
There's a lot of cornfields.
There is so much corn.
It's outrageous. Where do we want to start with this game?
Take us away, Jake. Guide us.
Well,
like Tyler.
This is the 4th time these two teams have met in the last 8 years?
Yeah. Even
7
less.
years?
Yeah.
2017, right?
No, 2018, 2019, and then
6 years.
Yeah.
Colorado's won 3 straight. They are 7-point dogs coming into this game. Cam Craig is back.
He is.
We already know what he did, and we talked a lot about him, what he did in this game last year. But a lot of people doubting the Buffs in this one, but we've got Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, and a whole bunch of dogs on our side.
That's the thing that kind of gets me. Just look, watch this. Watch this, Jake.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So no CU hat on. I'm not going to take the shirt off right now. But here's what gets me. Let's just be college football guys for a second, not a fan show. You got Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, you got Jimmy Horn Jr., you got LaJohntay West. I mean, just look at the weapons on the team. And then you look at this is a team or a program, I should say, that even when down was able to beat Nebraska, have won three meetings.
Beat them last time, though.
Convincingly.
Beat the hell out of them last time.
How do you go a year later with the upgrades and coaching, the upgrades at every position, and now you're at 7 points? I don't get it. Other than haters going to hate.
I mean,
it's hype. Nebraska has always been a program that gets overhyped. And I know that everyone says Colorado gets overhyped. But Colorado, if it does get overhyped, gets overhyped from I shouldn't even say overhyped. If Colorado gets buzz and hype around them, it comes from inside. Whereas with Nebraska, it's always national. It's always they're everyone's darling. Oh, it's just a sweet little town in the middle of Nebraska, and they happen to have, a historically good football program. And when I really put the history in historically, and so that's why there's a lot of people who really want Nebraska to be good. And because of that, when they show a flash like they did last week, everyone's just ready to go. Whereas Colorado is kind of getting the opposite treatment. And part of that, I think, is because of the way that last season played out.
Sure.
People are saying, we're going to have to wait before, you fooled me once last year and I jumped on the train too early. And so I understand that. But the opposite is happening with Nebraska. Everyone is just like, we saw one thing. It looked great. And they did look great against UTEP. At least they looked very good. And so, Dylan Raiola, he's a guy who people knew, 5-star recruit, number 1 quarterback in the country. He went out there and looked good. So they gave people reasons to and things that they can latch on to. And because of that, I just think the narrative is really starting to spin towards that.
Yeah.
It's just, you really do have to kind of close your eyes, though, and ignore what Colorado brings into this game. Because, there's legitimate people out there talking about Nebraska blowing out Colorado. And I have such a hard time imagining that even being in the realm of possibility because of the players like Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. And not just those two, but Jimmy Horn and LaJohntay Western, Will Shepard, who hasn't even been unleashed yet. And, Dallin Hayden, who we didn't get to see much of last week. And, the guys on the defense, Cam Craig being back. There's a lot of pieces on this team. And then that's not even talking about the defensive line, which is, to me, probably the area that they knocked out of the park the most when they went to improve this roster in the offseason. That group last week looked really strong. And anyone that's saying that they didn't is purposely ignoring what they actually looked like on film.
And they're getting Big Anquin Barnes back, so defensive line is going to be bigger.
Yep.
Their biggest player, that's huge in this game. And then to your point, Unc, saying they're 7-point dogs, CU was 3-point favorites last year. That's a 10-point swing year over year.
With an upgraded roster.
And 3 points is home field. Yeah. That's insane.
I totally get
by the way,
what RK is pretending to get when he says the way the season ended last year. But again, from a football pure standpoint, if you're just watching the lay of land, when you look at the guys who transferred in here, you look at what we lost, okay? You lose a Zay Weaver in the receiver room, but look what you've gained.
Yep.
Like, that's not a loss, and that's no disrespect to Zay Weaver. Shout out to Zay who made a 53-man roster. There's no disrespect to that. This team has gotten better in every facet of the game, including the people who are already great. Shador and Travis have gotten better. And so you would think, like, I mean, come on, man, at worst a push. How do you have somebody down 7? Mm-hmm. Well, that's why we play the game, and we're going to see. Spencer Smith out there dropped $5 on us and said Buffs are 45, Corn 17. He's calling it 10-2 for the season.
All right.
Let's go, Spence.
Coach Hart is on the way, by the way.
Let's go. Man, this show and Coach Hart go together.
They do.
Like birds of a feather.
Should we get a quick break in then before he shows up?
Hey, you're the captain of this ship, man. When it's stationary and we're live.
Yeah, Tyler. Now that the car's in park, you've got the wheel, and Tyler doesn't.
Oh, now I have it. Okay.
When you check in with everybody behind the cameras.
I guess so. Are we good for an ad break? Good for an ad break?
Now you're in charge.
Shout out to our friends over at Game Time. It's going to be electric tomorrow night over here at Memorial Stadium. If you want to get in the door, hit up our friends over at Game Time and download the Game Time app. Create an account. Use that promo code BUFFS, BUFFS. You get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code BUFFS, BUFFS, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time.
Game time.
Hey, you know a fun fact about Game Time?
What's up?
I'm not calling this an endorsement. I'm just calling it is what it is. Every time I post Game Time on the pregame show Instagram, Coach Prime himself likes it. Like, he's thumbs up in Game Time indirectly. So shout out to Game Time, man. And this is a guy who doesn't need help getting tickets.
No, not
and he wants that $20 off.
He knows.
So, figuratively it is game time, right? But it's not literally game time yet. You know what time it really is?
What?
It's time to chill.
Time to chill, baby. Time to chill with the Curse Live. Ice cold Curse Live, baby. That is what time it is.
When that top popped and that frost came off of it, oh, my God.
Curse Live is made to chill.
It's made to chill.
And we are actually finally in chill mode. Mm-hmm. Pop the slides out, cars in park. We're just hanging now. And that's why it's time for a Curse Light. There's just something about it, man. First one of the weekend always hits so different.
Yep.
I almost feel guilty that, I'm getting to have this moment right now and you guys aren't.
I'd be damned.
I didn't get offered a cold
I'll take one if the mountains are blue.
We're running out of Blue Mountains, I'm going to be honest. I should have loaded more in there. Anyways.
It's kind of like how we didn't load water this morning.
Make the most.
Who needs water?
At least we have our priorities right now.
We got priorities.
I don't want
Make the most out of the times you choose to chill with Curse Light. Go to curslight.com/DNVR. That's good.
Yeah. I tried to time that. Did you get that timing? Try to time. Hey, we're getting a lot of shout-outs, and shout out about the RV. Everybody's loving that. And they're extra shouting out RK. I need to let them know that you did solve the air condition problem, once we went off air.
I did.
So everybody's saying how to fix it now, and that is exactly how you fixed it. So
all right, we got our guest. Great timing, by the way. Can we make sure that he can get on here?
You got to push it to pull it. That's what she said.
We got him. Come on in.
There he is.
A man.
What's up,
man
Coach?
who needs no introduction. Our from the defensive staff, linebackers coach Andre Hart, and that E has a little hyphen on it. He told me on the episode of The Whistle that he's part French. So recognize
part French, huh?
I'm black Frenchman.
Andre.
I'm a black Frenchman. Yes, I am.
Andre.
What do you think of the setup,
dude? This is nice, bro. Like y'all can just you can just roll around. You can eat in here and work in here and.
I took a nap earlier.
There's a bed in there.
Yeah. There's 3 actually.
There's three beds.
Two bunk beds and
there's 3 beds.
I don't know what that's a reference
Coach
to.
Hart, let me.
You know what the reference to.
Oh, no,
you know what this is a reference to.
He was booed up on the couch you sitting on.
Oh, wait a minute. No.
Coach.
Yo, what's up?
You got a rich football career. I don't know if this is your first game in Nebraska or not. Is it? Is this your?
No. This is not my first game in Nebraska. I mean, I came here when I played college ball at, K-State.
Yeah.
Back in the Big 12 when we were all going at it. Yeah. But, it was just an in and out type. Well, I guess similar to now, coaching. Just in and out. Never saw much of it except for the stadium and that sea of red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, talk to me with that experience and us coming in here now to play. Talk to us about your group's work this week to get ready for this sea of red.
Well, I think you gotta focus on the little things and make sure that those little things become the big things. And what I mean by that is you got to cancel out the noise, the crowd, the atmosphere, and understand it's another game. It's a field, and it's a stadium. And you need to focus on where your eyes need to be, what the call is, and what we came here to get done. You can't get lost in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to how folks tell you when you go to New York for the first time. Like I had a friend who stays in New York. He said, don't look up. You know, keep looking up at the they're gonna know
you're gonna look down, your wallet gone.
Your wallet gone, right? They're gonna know you're a tourist and they're gonna come get you. So it's the same thing, man. Keep the main thing, and come win the game. Enjoy that stuff after, like watch it on film or after the game is over. You can kind of enjoy it, but during the game, keep the main thing. Yeah.
And I think that's why historically, whether it was Coach Prime at Jackson State and we would play in the Dolphin Stadium, or even last year with Colorado, you try to go by the Rose Bowl the day before the game, like so to get that out of you. Get the this is the Rose Bowl out your system, so you can play ball when you first walk in there.
Yeah, I thought
some
that was
of these
pretty
places
genius.
you can be in awe.
Yeah, no doubt. I thought that was pretty genius that he did that. To kind of get you ready to go. See the battlefield.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Take a look at it before you get ready to embark on battle. What's my guy? Art of War.
Sun Tzu.
Yeah, Sun Tzu. Know your territory.
Yeah.
Know the high ground, low ground.
That's my coach, man.
You know what I'm saying? You got to know all those things, man.
What is that, a book?
It is a book.
God, yeah.
I'm unfamiliar.
Go to audio, dude. They got audio for you now. You can listen to it if you want to.
Coach, if we could just go back to last week real quick, just what was your evaluation of your group, what you saw on Thursday night?
I think we started slow last week, man. If I'm being honest with you, I thought we started slow, but then I did like the resilience and the ability to snap back in the second half, and would really put on an impressive show of defense to where I think they only scored maybe 6 points or something of that nature.
6 in the second half.
Yeah, something like that. And, give our offense, which was explosive, came out hot and fast, an opportunity to go ahead and close and win the game out for us. And I thought it was very, poetic that at the end, we got to be back on the field one more time just to kind of sure it all up.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we started slow. I don't see that happening this week. I think, you make your biggest jump from week 1 to week 2 in college football, and, these guys are ready to go. They want to show they can be better than what they did at the first half. And North Dakota State is not a bad team now. They're some giant killers. I'm not talking bad about them, but I think we can do better.
North Dakota State presents a lot of challenges and did present a lot of challenges for linebackers because they have so many plays designed to get your eyes moving in the wrong place. Is that something you expect to see from Nebraska as much, or what challenges do you think that they pose?
In their offensive schemes, they do have that, where they do that, and I think the bread and butter, though, of what they do is they have 3 really nice backs that they want to get going and make that quarterback comfortable. So, yes, I do think they will do some misdirection. I think, it's a copycat league in the way that they'll see some of the things that gave us trouble and try to, just try to get us with that. But, of course, it's our job to prepare us for it and make sure we correct and, scout ourselves and say, hey, these are the things we got to make sure we shore up because other people are looking at this film too. Yep. So I think we're going to do a much, much better job at that. But I think what's going to be different is they do have the ability to pass the ball a lot more than what North Dakota State was willing to do or wanted to do. It's not really in their bread house. But like you say, you talk about North Dakota State, man, they come with some old school stuff. Like, 2-back system, 3 tight ends, 3 pullers. You're like, oh, my God.
And they lined up in like a heavy formation, then spread it out.
And then spread it out. Yeah, they do a lot of interesting things that, kind of football has gotten away from that they keep traditional. So, that's going to be, I think, a problem for anybody who doesn't major in that type of stuff, which most defenses don't anymore just because of how the game has changed. But Nebraska, right?
Yeah.
They do a lot of moving, motions, try to get your eyes going in the wrong place, but then they come back with a counter in the zone series and things like that you have to stop. If we do a great job, which we will, of getting them to second and long, I think now we're playing our type of game, especially with the DBs we have out there.
Yeah. Let me talk to you, Coach, about get your feedback on confidence. And as you talked about, we started slow last week against a very worthwhile opponent. And I've said this throughout the week, but as I'm walking in with Coach Prime at halftime, before I could get my defensive question out, he cut me off and said, I'm not worried about the defense. They're going to come out. They're going to do their thing. They're starting to click now. I'm not worried about the defense at all. And it's exactly what happened. 0 in the third quarter, fluky touchdown in the fourth quarter, 6 points they scored in the second half. The other part of that is defense is known to traveling on the road. When you look at the confidence that he has in the defense and the work you do with Coach Livingston and your group, what helped him see that and that he knew without even going in the locker room yet that, they got this. I'm not worried about the defense.
Yeah. Well, it's a belief first. It's a belief in who you hired, who you work with every day, who you go to battle with every day, and seeing them prepare. I think he sees us prepare. He sees the type of work we put in and the scheme that we have, and it's just getting the information relayed to the players and getting things corrected, because it always comes down to some type of fundamental or some type of communication. And once you get that nailed and ironed out, then people start to settle down and play, because defense is a puzzle, right?
Yeah. Everybody
has to fit. Everybody has to do their own job. And when you start to stress or get outside of your lane, that's when you can have problems. You can have traffic and things don't go right. But, again, I think he had that confidence because he saw us prepare. I know Kobe once said to Shaq, he said, hey, man, why you don't pass the ball to that guy? And he said, well, I saw him in practice. So, if you see us in practice and we were not preparing, we were not doing the things that he likes us to do, I think he probably would have had a different answer for you. But he knew what we were doing, and he had that confidence we would get it right, and we want to get it right for him and the Buffaloes and the Buffalo fans.
Yeah. Speaking of practice, Coach, you got 2 pieces back toward the end of the week. One in your room, Bentley came back to practice, and behind Bentley, Cameron Silver and Craig is back at practice, and they're both on this trip. What does it mean to you as a coach, having one of them's not your guy, but they all communicated, having those guys back for Nebraska?
Yeah, it speaks volumes because, you trust what you put on the field, right? And so it gives you a little bit more confidence. It gives you a little bit more assurance. It's just like, this radio show. You guys work together. You trust each other. When you're on the air together, you kind of feed off each other, man. And it just makes things that much smoother when you're not really trying to – and not saying a second-string guy or third-string guy is not a part of the team. We're not as good as the first string, but there's a smoother roll because you have more reps with him.
Yeah.
So you kind of know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And you know what checks he's going to call, so you have a little bit more.
It's like trust. When you come on here, you kind of mess up our flow. No, I'm just kidding.
That's what I'm here for, man.
I got to tell you this.
I'm the antagonist, not the protagonist.
When you text and said you're on the way, because you missed this walking on. When you text said you're on the way, tell you what RK said about you.
What did he say, man?
He said, I'm paraphrasing, but this show is perfectly designed for guests like Andre Hart. Like there's no better guest that fits into what we already do. And that's when you were walking on.
I think I actually said the DNVR pregame show and Coach Hart go together like birds of a feather.
Yeah.
Come on with the bars, then. Let's go. Let's get it. I love the blenders, by the way, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah?
Appreciate it.
I see you over there, dude.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. I need some of those.
You guys are going up against a freshman quarterback, obviously very talented, but very green as well. So I guess what are the pros and cons of kind of going up against a player like that? Like you mentioned, it's going to open up their offense a bit more than you saw last year, too.
Yeah. I think the pros and cons of that is that you have a guy who they have confidence in, and he's playing really learning on the run. What I mean by that is what you do in theory and practical are two different things. So what he can do in practice, what he can do on the board, it looks different from opponent to opponent. And that's not a knock on him. I'm just saying when you're young and you get into the college ranks, just like a rookie getting to the NFL, there's some things you're going to shine at and you're going to have confidence, and there's some learning curves that you have to have too. We just hope to be a part of that learning curve for him, by looking at some film, putting some pressure on him, see if we can get him off his spot, do some different things that he'll have to adjust to. Maybe that was a little bit different than what UTEP did.
Yeah.
So,
I love that.
Yeah.
Learning curve.
Yeah, learning curve, man. That's all it is. It's a learning curve. He's going to be a good ball player, though.
Yeah.
He can sling it. Yeah, he can sling it.
Absolutely.
Pretty
Taking
cool.
nothing away from him, but like you said about our guys and having reps together, us as a show having reps together, the fact of the matter is he's 18 and a freshman.
That's right.
And it's one game. He's had one game under his belt. So I think that a defense can give him some looks he hasn't seen, can make him move his feet. Quarterbacks like to be comfortable. And if you can make them uncomfortable, that skews the odds, in your favor. So
yeah. So, no different than what we want to do. We want to make him uncomfortable. We want to give him a little adversity in his life, and he can learn from that and grow and be a great player later.
Yes.
He'll be better after this, thanks to us. What we
Yeah. And I mean, it's
that.
just competition, man. Not saying anything bad about him, but it's just competition. You come out here to win.
Oh yeah.
And we want to win. And if this is the guy that they believe in and they feel that this is their best guy, that's who we want to go against.
Let me see, can I make you uncomfortable, Coach? We
Good
talk
luck.
about complimentary football.
Oh, I'm not running any draws, so I'm very comfortable right
See,
now.
he asked me that this morning.
What?
Draws.
Oh, yeah.
See?
Yeah.
FBA, Free Ballers of America. Trying to tell you, wouldn't listen.
I'm trying to tell you.
We got Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, Jimmy Horn Jr., you name it, on offense, right?
Yeah.
And people have come to expect, even the opponent, what we're going to do on offense. Does that cause the defense any pressure that we got to go out and do our thing because we know what they're going to do theirs? Or is it disconnected? How much are we thinking about complimentary football when we go do our job, or do we just think about do the damn job and don't worry about the other units?
No, I think you're thinking about complimentary football all the way. If anything, if this makes sense to you, it makes us more excited to do our job because we're like, man, listen, if we get 3 and out, that's just like a turnover, right?
Yeah.
Without the actual turnover. So 1, 2, 3 and out, we get to see our electrifying offense take the field and do something that's going to be historic. I think like last game, what it was, Grown through his, or Shedeur, excuse me.
100.
Through his 100 pass, touchdown. Touchdown pass, right? So, I mean, to be able to be a part of that and say, hey, we got these guys off the field now. Shedeur through his 100 touchdown pass is history. Like, that's what you live for as a defense. You want to see little brother shine. Big brother, we go in there, we clear out all the bullies. Little brother, now go ahead and take the stage. You dance, put on a show for everybody.
Yeah.
That's what we want, man. So, yeah, if that answers your question, we love it.
Yeah,
we love it. We want to see him on the field more.
I thought you were talking about next week's opponent when you said little brother. Anyways.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Already, I see.
We'll keep it focused here. This is something we talked about last week, but I'm noticing it again this week. We actually had you on the show for week 1 last year at TCU. We were sitting there in the hotel.
Yeah.
And there was like this intense energy just exuding from everyone, just like ready to go out there and hit somebody. And, the whole thing was very, for lack of a better term, intense. This year's team, to me, feels a lot more collected, maybe the word is. Like, it's a lot more business-like in the approach. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I think it is because, that first year we kind of came together and you felt like you knew what we were going to be, but you didn't know until you get in front of live rounds, when you're actually going to get somebody else. And TCU was in the national championship, right? If I remember correctly last year. So, what better opponent to come out to figure out what you're going to have when you do that. So think about it like this. If you're going against what was a juggernaut at that time, and you're this startup, right? All right, you got this energy going. You're jumping up. You're hitting on each other. Yeah, we can do it. You're getting all riled up. For the ride because you don't really know.
Yeah.
You think you know, but you don't really know. So you're checking with everybody to see. Are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. You're smashing heads and all that kind of stuff like that, bringing the juice. When you know what you have, it's very Hitman-like. Yeah. Very professional. Yeah, silence. I got my tie on. I'm silent. I'm walking in. I know what I got to do. I got my confidence, my swag. I'm ready to go.
I love that analogy.
It's business as usual. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
And a great way to pick up on that vibe, man, because that's good. It's good spotting.
There you go. That's what I do. I'm an observer.
He's a spotter. I've seen him.
He's a spotter. This is a shooter. According to our chat, you're the shooter. So go ahead and shoot.
Right. Last year in this rivalry game, Coach, there was a lot of talk of, it's personal and all this stuff. This year, though, it just seems different in terms of the approach. It's a lot more, it feels like on ourselves rather than who we're playing against. Has Coach talked about that? You know, Coach Prime talked about that change, or have you noticed that change and just the difference in the approach for this year?
Yeah, I think the first year, you say it's personal because when we came in, a lot of people had a lot of stuff to say. Being a coaching staff from Jackson State, being who Colorado had been as far as historically, as far as stats and all that good stuff. So it became personal because it became like a personal attack.
Yeah.
This year, you kind of have a lot of stuff going on in the media or whatnot, but it's more on the team and not more directed towards Coach Prime or some of the staff, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So now it's not that it's personal. It's like, okay, this is business as usual.
Yeah.
You know, as a collective, as the Buffs, we need to let them understand, you know, when we did win, that wasn't a fluke. And the ones we lost by a touchdown, which were a couple.
Yes, sir.
That would have put us, you know, in the playoffs, that was a fluke. You know, so let's show them what we really are about as Colorado Buff football and get out here as a team and do something about it.
Let me throw this at you, Coach. And I've told these guys this before. Once upon a time, I sat on the linebacker row in the team meetings, and I keep getting bumped down. Well, now I got pushed so far in the running backs, I had to move back to the O-line and where the coaches sit. I actually sit next to Coach Hart now.
Yeah.
So the guy has depth in his room. So where I'm going with that is, we get in our chest all the time. Why is such-and-so not playing? Where's such-and-so? You know, blah, 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 blah. What goes into your decision-making on which guys get those opportunities on game day? Because you got a deep row.
Yeah, I do. And an experienced group, too. To me, I tell them every week there can be a new starter. No one has a job. You have to earn your right to start every single week. So that goes into your preparation, the grades that we take down for them. All that information we keep on data. The practice is how you practice, because how you practice is how you're going to play in the game. There's no difference in that to me. So one guy could have had a great week last week, and you started. All right, you came out that game a little shaky. Maybe you didn't play as well as I thought you would have played. It's a whole new week. Now, that goes two ways for you. One, you could excel. You could grow. You could get better. You could win the job again. Or two, you could plummet. You can concede to the pressure, and now someone else gets the opportunity to start. What does that do for your room? It creates competition. It creates an uneasiness that no one has the starting position. All right? It's like a Royal Rumble, if you can say, of football. Ding, 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 the bell hits. I got all my linebackers in there fighting for the ladder match, right?
Yeah.
Who's going to come down with the belt? And surprisingly enough, it also builds a kind of camaraderie between the two, because they know they got to battle each other every week for the starting position. If you got me this week, I'm going to get you next week.
Yeah.
And then there's congratulations to it. Like, dang, dog, you must have really worked, bro. You know, so now it sets a new level of what we do every week. So that's how I take it. No one is ever a continuous starter in my room, no matter how good you do.
I got one more for you before we let you go and bring in your partner from the whistle.
Yeah. Ebony and Ivory.
And I love this, RK, before you get that question. Coach Pollock texted me a picture of the RV and said, "Is this it?" I'm like, "Yeah, come on, this is it."
We got to be sure now.
Yeah, you can't just be pulling up on someone's house.
You walk up on somebody's RV, but it's it. I'm trying to tell you, this is rivalry week now. What you boys doing in here?
I just wanted to ask what it's been like working alongside George Hilo.
Oh, he's been great, man. He's a great asset, great resource to have. Guy comes in real cool and collective, you know. Doesn't try to step on any toes. I mean, a lot of times he's just quietly sitting in the linebacker room in the corner, you know, and unless I ask him a question or something like that. He's very respectful that way, but I love talking to him and talking ball with him, man. He's a very knowledgeable guy, and we've gotten along great. It hasn't been a problem at all. I think he's added to the room. I never see competition when it comes to coaching, because there is no utopias. You know, no one knows everything, and you can always get better. And we've been rolling, man. We've been really rolling. Yep. I love it.
My man,
we love it.
Andre,
love having
Frenchman
you on
Hart.
Here, man.
Appreciate you stopping by.
Is this where the party is, man?
Yeah.
After, right? This where we going? All right.
That's where we'll be.
Yeah, I love it.
We got a fridge full of beers, so
We do that.
Okay. Might be sleeping here. No. Come on, man.
Next up, we got Coach Michael Pollock, who is offensive analyst We're going to talk a little offense. Been talking defense with Coach Hart.
Jake, you want to hit us an ad read first?
We can do that real quick, yes. Very excited about this one.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
What is happening where as soon as we go live, it feels like the air stops working?
I don't know. It's crazy, though.
Are we maybe taking up too much energy with all of this for the air conditioning to work?
Maybe. Okay, so later in this show, we'll get to our picks for offensive, defensive, and sleeper of the game. And shout out to our new friends over at Sleeper. One of the best, fantasy, if not the best fantasy app out there.
Yep.
You can fully customize your league, and now that we're in Nebraska, we can actually make some picks over on Sleeper. Higher, lower on yardage totals, all kinds of stuff. But you were checking it out.
Yeah, we'll build a whole. We're gonna build a play later because you've got Shador, Travis, LeJohntay, Jimmy. You can mix and match and essentially, build your multiplier to see how much you can make on sleeper picks.
So there you go. If you think you have what it takes, download the Sleeper app. Use that code BUFFS, BUFFS, and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today.
Also, shout out to Red Hawk Roofing. Hail season is here, so don't wait to take care of any issues before big storms hit. You can't always see how bad the damage to your roof is from the ground, so make sure you hit up our friends over at Red Hawk Roofing. And they're awesome. They're big DNVR fans, huge Buffs fans, Denver sports fans, all of it. So we love them over there. And if you're looking for a roof, hit up our friends over at Red Hawk Roofing. By going to redhawkroofing.com or call 720-771-8921 and tell them DNVR sent you.
Yes, sir. And before we kick it off over with Coach Michael Pollock, got Lone Wolf, who dropped $4.99. Speaking of, on the pregame show page, over 1,000 people watching live right now.
Let's go.
Put that together with DNVR page. Hey, we're in the thousands. So look here. Lone Wolf says, outside looking in, I see this year's CU Buffs being how Jackson State was there in the second year. So far, so good. It was undefeated in conference. Yes, sir. Well, Coach Michael Pollock, you were there at Jack State. Now you're second year at CU.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk offense, man. How did offense look preparation-wise this week?
Man, I think we had a great week of preparation. I think we're, super confident coming in. They always talk about your most improvements when you're first and second game. And we felt like, the first game we accomplished a lot of things we wanted to accomplish. We left a little money out there on the field, but, I think we worked to clean up some mistakes and try to do what we need to do this week. Listen, they've got a great defense that we got to go against this week in Nebraska. But last year we scored the second most points against them of anybody. Michigan scored the most, and they're the national champions. So we feel really good about our scheme, feel really good about our players and our matchups, and we're going to see what happens.
Love it, Coach. Last week when we talked to you, you said you helped try and coach a lot of the players through situational football. There were some instances in the game last week. So just what was the kind of reaction to what you presented to them this week? I'm sure just having to do with those situations.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think that when you're able to use other games that were played last weekend, we used 3 clips this week from the LSU-USC game showing some things that happened. We use some other clips from just recent events of just this is what happened to these teams. This is the situation. Let's try to prevent this from happening. There's some things that the referees are taking a little bit more into consideration this year. Like, for example, the defensive lines that like to move and shift and everything. They're being real picky this year about any kind of movement that's going to cause the offensive line to jump off sides, and they're going to call it on the defense. That happened at LSU against USC. And then later in the game, LSU did it again. The USC jumped. They caught it on the offense. So, it's just it's a very fine line that you got to walk when you do that. And it was very good for our kids to see that. And, of course, then, the new technology, using the tablets and using the headset in the helmet communication, the rules that go into there. There's we talked today about how during the timeout, as long as you're between the numbers and the sideline, you can have the tablet in the huddle and show your players what's going on. I mean, what an advantage when you got Shedeur Sanders sitting there basically just watching the last 2 or 3 plays that he, I mean that's almost like the cheat code in a video game,
Yeah.
And so we just want to make sure that our kids are aware of the rules and we don't get, because like in that situation, if you go out past the numbers, it's a penalty.
Yeah.
It's an issue. So we just want to make sure that our kids know the rules. We don't do something silly that costs us a game. I mean, like the other night, I mean, we're 3 plays away from blowing them guys out.
Yep.
And they're a good football team. That's taking nothing away. We made those mistakes. That was on us, and we paid the price for it. But in big time college football games, when you're playing good competition, it's going to come down to 1, 2, or 3 plays, and who makes the play is going to be successful, and who doesn't, it's not going to be successful.
So, if I can guess, the fluky interception, is that one of the 3 plays you're talking about in the end zone?
Yeah, that was one. Yep.
4th and 1.
4th down. Yeah.
Well,
or 4th and inches?
I thought that actually it's the 2 penalties on defense that extended drives for them, and then the fluky interception.
Yep.
I mean, that's 21 points right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a 21-point swing, and then the situation with the big play they had on the first down. We just misplayed that just a little bit. It was just but you take that play away. Now you can't take it away, but if you take that away, you stop them there. We get the ball, we score. Maybe their mentality's a little different. Momentum's a big thing, and it's going to be a big thing tomorrow.
Yeah.
You go all off season, and everyone puts all this work into building this offense. And you look out there, and you've got 4 wide with Will Shepard, Jimmy Horn, LaJohntay Wester, and Travis Hunter. And as you're getting ready for the season, you're just like imagining like what this could be.
Right.
So how exciting was it to see them go out there and kind of show how explosive they could be? Shedeur go for 445, and like you mentioned, maybe even a couple plays from really, really blowing it open.
Well, listen, you're gonna allow me to segue into a little self promotion here from me and my man Neely and Coach Hart. We had an episode of The Whistle last week that we talked about some things, and there was a comment in there that I read I thought was kind of funny. That somebody said Shedeur needs to throw it to somebody besides Travis. Well, Shedeur threw for over 400 something yards, and Travis didn't have 132.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's 300 yards out there somewhere that somebody else caught.
Michael Pollock. What are we talking about here?
What are we talking about here? I mean, Jimmy Horn had 190. So. I'm okay.
Should have been like 260.
Exactly. And then you got LaJohntay and Will, who Will Shepard's I'm gonna tell you right now, that kid can play.
Yeah.
And he didn't really have a the kind of game that he probably wanted for himself last week, but it was an efficient game. Yeah. He just didn't have the big plays, and we didn't get him in those situations. It just didn't work out that way. But that's receiver play for you. It's not going to always work out that way. But I'm telling you right now, he is a big time player. He's got a lot of snaps under his belt in a very tough conference. I don't care. I know Vanderbilt's probably not the cream of the crop in the SEC, but Georgia had a kid that they got from Vanderbilt that played pretty good last week against Clemson, and we got a kid from Vanderbilt, Will Shepard, who had over 20 touchdowns in the SEC. And I don't care. Hey, it's hard to score 20 touchdowns on air in the SEC. So, so this kid can play, and of course, LaJohntay Wester. I mean, he had some key catches for us the other day. I mean, listen, it's going to be one of them years where it's that you take away Travis and Jimmy, you still got LaJohntay and Will to take it. If you take away Will and Jimmy, you got LaJohntay and Travis. Yep. So you still got guys that you can't take them all away.
No, absolutely not, Coach.
So that's good for us.
And I thought Timmons had a good week of practice.
Absolutely, Timmons has had a great camp. I mean, that's another one. To transfer from NC State. He's had a great camp. He's had a great week of practice. He works hard. We still got Amarian Miller who had a little coming out party last year against USC. He's still a young pup, but he's got a lot of talent. I mean, and then there's just Draylon Miller, the freshman, had a great game the other night. I mean, heck, how many times can you say you opened up a season and threw a bubble screen to a freshman?
Right. And when you look at Marion, I got a couple questions for you after this. two crucial blocks he had. Like he played more than receiver last week. A lot of people look for stats, look for yardage, look for catches, but his job away from the ball, showed his growth and maturity last week. Coach, when you talked about, what you get up in front of the team and do your lessons about things to be aware of, it's not just for the players. One of the things I loved when you talked about the pads and telling you were coaching the coaches like, hey, I don't care what happens out there.
Right.
You can't take that pad to an official and show them what they missed. That's a 15-yard penalty.
That's exactly right. And that, that is something that, you have to I've seen it happen.
Mm-hmm.
At the high school level, they've had iPads on the sideline for over a decade now. And you've seen coaches get a little bit perturbed about a call and they want to go show it. And, you can't do that kind of stuff. And absolutely, the NCAA has a rule. It's an unsportsmanlike conduct against your sideline.
Go ahead.
Just looking at Nebraska defensively, what stands out to you on tape and I guess differences between last year and this year, because they are bringing a lot of the key pieces back from last year and this year.
I think they got 8 starters back on defense. So, I mean, it's good to be able to see the same kids. We actually saw them on, live and in color last year, and we saw them on film, how they matched up with us last year, and we got our new pieces here, and they got a couple new pieces as well. And, I tell you what, their defensive coordinator, he does a great job. He keeps it mixed up. He keeps the quarterback guessing. And they show a multitude of looks, and it makes it very difficult for a quarterback to operate, and your offensive line, in the run game, identifying who the point is on inside and outside zone and where we're going to work to and things like that. So he does a great job. He's got a great reputation, and he's going to be a head coach one day and be very successful because he's really got those guys playing hard. They, you can tell that they bought into what he's doing, and they enjoy playing for him.
Outstanding. That's Coach Michael Pollock, man. I love him.
I thought you had more questions.
I always have more questions for Coach Pollock. Coach, talk to you about getting the ball around, and you brought it up. You framed it perfectly. People saying you got to throw more than Travis Hunter, and the stats bear out that more people were thrown to than Travis
Exactly.
Hunter. The other thing people are criticizing or being overcritical of is the lack of run opportunities.
Right.
And what I say to them is that when you have a Shedeur Sanders, a Travis Hunter, Jimmy Horn Jr. out there, throw the book away on this pass run percentage.
Right.
Do what's working.
Listen, Coach Brett Bartolone said it best this week when he and I were riding home together. He said, "Listen, man, we had over 500 yards of offense, and I don't care how you got it running, passing, or whatever. 500 yards of offense is 500 yards of offense.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. I think a lot of people get caught up into that kind of stuff and things. The thing that you got to do is when you're a play caller, you got to think players, not plays. And a lot of times when you got critical situations, you got the best quarterback in the country. You don't want to take it out of his hands. You want him to have that opportunity to win it for you and to do the things he needs to do.
Absolutely.
But something his maturity through 4 years of being able to not only just check to the pass but get us in the right run play for us is tremendous. And we do want to run the ball better, but at the same time, we're going to do whatever it takes to win the football game.
And to the fans out there, I think it's important to note that, RK, you're sitting next to, and Jake, you're sitting across from Shedeur Sanders' first offensive collegiate coordinator and quarterback coach. So I think he knows the guy.
Absolutely.
He and I go way back. I actually met Shedeur when he was in the 8th grade down at the Under Armour All-American game. So, I've known him for a while. And like I say, he's just – I've never gone into a game without being super confident that we were going to win the football game with, as long as he was taking snaps. That's just the way it is. And that's what you want out of your trigger man. That he does a great job. He's matured through his 4 years of college.
Absolutely.
And I think he's just going to. I think he's going to have a great game tomorrow. I really do.
I'll say this to you, Coach, that for running game wise, what I've seen all camp long, practice this week, looking at Nebraska's defense. What a Dallin Hayden brings to the table and a Micah brings to the table, I think matches up well with that.
Yes.
You got some guys that want to take it to their linebackers.
Right.
These ain't run out of bound guys. These are drop the shoulder and hit you guys. So
that's right.
I think when there's opportunities there, we are going to run. But like you said, it's about players, not plays.
Well, we've got, a lot of people have made a big factor this year out of playing in front of a big crowd, and Nebraska's tradition. Well, listen here. Tradition lasts about as long as kickoff, I mean, listen, as soon as kickoff's
over.
Get
that on the shirt.
I mean? Listen, last time I checked, there ain't nobody from the 80s. Tommy Frazier's not going to come back out on the field and start running the option to Mike Rose. None of them guys are going to play. So it's going when it kicks off, it's going to be Nebraska and it's going to be Colorado. And our job is to go out there and execute. And they got the home field advantage, but this is college football. And in college football, you got to go on the road and play in front of big crowds and win. So, I couldn't think of anybody better to go with than Shedeur Sanders. I mean, that crowd's not going to rattle him. It's not going to have any effect on him. He's played big games on the road before, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Tommy Frazier ain't walking through that door.
No.
Yep. That's right.
At all.
All right, Coach.
Well, listen, man. I'm just gonna tell you, since we got over 1,000 people listening, I got to put a plug in. I got to cook, baby.
Man.
Hey, listen. We had guys. I'm gonna tell you right now. Me and Coach Hart and Coach Neely, had a great episode of The Whistle that popped out Thursday.
Absolutely.
The first part of it popped Thursday. Y'all got to tune in tomorrow because the last part, I'm going to tell you what, last part 2 is tomorrow. And listen, trust me, you're going to want to listen.
Yeah, I agree with Coach. When we got done and went our separate ways and I got doing the minimal editing that it needs working with these two guys, I text both of them and said, I think it's the best episode ever.
Let's go.
I think this
We're
is the
excited
because it was entertainment and football, man.
That's right.
Because, they cut up now.
Oh, yeah.
You get them together, they double cut up.
Yeah.
But when it got into ball talk, I was sitting there like, damn.
Yeah.
These fuckers know football,
Yes,
man.
they do.
Well, let me tell you something. I think somebody was listening because Coach Prime got the 5 heartbeats video sent to him. So I think somebody heard us talk
that's
about
where it came from.
off the whistle. There's no doubt.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we're trendsetters. That's what we do, man.
sir.
We're trendsetters.
No doubt.
I tell you what. Next week, I know this. I'm coming with my blenders.
Let's go.
I'm showing up here. I'm the only one that don't have blenders on, have my sunglasses on. So that will not happen again. I promise you.
Absolutely.
I love it. Before we let you go, I just want to hear the way that you say the name of this beer.
Water.
It's going down like water. It's going down like water.
Michael Pollock, Georgia's finest, baby.
That's Coors Light.
All right.
Yeah, Coors.
Coors Light.
Now, when you want to drink a real beer, you get some Coors Banquet. You get some Banquet now.
As long as you stay Coors, I'll allow it.
Shout out to Coors Banquet. Shout out to Coach Michael Pollock, Georgia's finest, and indisputably the best head of hair in the Big 12.
Hey, there's no doubt. Mike Gundy, listen, I ain't forgot about you. We got a date with Destiny at the last game of the year.
Yes, sir.
Me and Mike Gundy. Hey, he's got a little perm in his now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to go that far now. He done got a little curl in it. My boy's stepping out.
Coach P, we appreciate you stopping by.
Appreciate you guys.
Man. We love
Appreciate
it.
you,
We love
Coach.
it.
Thank y'all.
Good luck tomorrow, man.
All right.
Go Buffs.
Go Buffs.
That was Coach Michael Pollock, offensive analyst. Been with Coach Prime even before Jackson State and Under Armour days, but OC and quarterbacks coach, receivers tight end coach at Jackson State, came out to Colorado, been here now, working with tight end, special teams, just all the offense. We're out there with Coach Pat Shermer, particularly Coach Brett Bartolone as well. Shout out to Mike P and Coach Hart, man.
Those guys are awesome.
They are awesome.
This coaching staff's awesome.
It really is. It is like a staff of head coaches.
It's just great, football knowledge, great people, just awesome to talk to every time.
Even the guys who haven't been head coaches have been coordinators. I mean, it's,
he's an offensive analyst, and he was an offensive
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High school head coach, D1 OC, and as an analyst here. Like, there's no ego amigo here. It's like they're here to win. They're absolutely here to win.
I love it.
Do you
By
know
the
what
way,
else you love?
what?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, by the way, he said we got 1,000 people watching. We got more than that, 2.3 thousand. So if you're listening, watching, hit us with a like. We'd appreciate it very much.
Hit us with the like!
I was asking, what else do you love?
Oh,
It's Toyota.
I'm guessing it's my Toyota.
I rode before we go to him.
Yeah.
I rode in the Toyota.
Oh, yeah.
Last Thursday night.
Thoughts?
It was a very smooth, peaceful ride.
Yeah.
And I turned to him midway and I said, I see why you love this.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. It's the best. It's the best.
Agile, watch out. She's athletic.
Oh, geez, watch your head. If I could ride in anything other than this, it would be my Toyota. But this one fits all of my friends, so that's great too. But you could also get a Toyota that fits all of your friends at a Front Range location near you. Check out AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe, and Centennial.
It's on the can, though.
Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of CU Athletics and the official vehicle of DNVR.
And our good friends over at UC Health, headlined by Coach Prime, who's the Chief Motivation Officer of UC Health's Ready, Set, Co Challenge. Coach Prime wants to help you and other Coloradans be your healthiest selves. As we move into football season, we got to get Colorado to be in the healthiest state in the country.
Back where it used to be.
Yep.
Back where it used to be.
Back where we belong, just like Colorado football. Head it up.
Yep. Many things that we can do. You know, take care of your mental health, take care of your physical health, emotional health, all those things. Sleep better. I got some sleep on this
You
drive.
did, man. You showed up well rested. You were early. You were refreshed.
What time did you go to bed last night?
You were energetic.
So I watched the game, and then I watched an episode of Better Call Saul, and I fell asleep around 11:30.
Okay. All right. I mean, the way you the spark you had this morning,
had a
I would have
spark,
said you got a full 8 hours.
By the way, in the
felt
pregame
like
show
it.
network chat, they're still accusing you of being high.
Of course they are.
Yeah,
That's
all right.
crazy.
Just so you know.
But
I know.
yeah.
I can totally vouch. He's not high.
One thing that we underrated that I didn't think about when I was planning out us doing this whole season on the bus is that Jake was going to have to deal with you and I for more hours than normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jake.
Anyways, if you want to join UC Health's Ready, Set, Co Challenge, click the link in the show notes or go to www.uchealth.org/readysetco.
Sorry, I didn't realize you hadn't done the
It's all
the
good.
end of the ad.
Y'all are my boys.
Thick
though.
Pen Kings, I want to shout you out because you're saying to the haters and everyone in between, smack the like buttons. So if you're over there on DNVR page, smack the like, subscribe. If you're on the Pregame Show Network page, smack the like and subscribe. Appreciate your Thick Pen Kings.
Yes, subscribe to the channels, hit the like button. Also subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Buffs. We pop up. We'd appreciate your 5-star review
Maestro
as well.
Cowell says over 900 in here with 300 likes. Do I smell Nebraska fans?
Oh, of course.
Lurkers,
They've
baby.
been in our comments all week, man. What do you mean?
These Nebraska fans, the least you could do is hit us with a like. We've been entertaining you all week.
Yeah, for real.
I know since 7 a.m. been entertaining them.
You ready, Alyssa?
Passing beers to the refrigerator is what you were doing then.
It's time to do our picks. Offensive, defensive, sleeper of the game. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Who wants to go first for offense?
Offense.
Do you remember who you
I have
picked?
Wester, man. You always accuse me of not remembering.
I just want to make sure you guys remember. That's all
I
I'm
have
asking.
Wester. I
I've
have
got a
Wester.
note on my phone that
I think that much like Coach Pollock talked about, I think week to week with Shedeur Sanders, he's going to go to the matchup. He's going to go to what's there. It's not just Travis.
Yep.
I think Travis is going to get his, but I think when you tabulate the end of the game results as far as yardage, I think it's going to be Wester tomorrow.
I, too, took LeJontay Wester. Unc and I spent so much time together. We're synced up now.
Synced up.
All these picks made individually, by the way.
Yes, all the picks were made individually. I think that there's a lot of focus that's going to be put on Travis Hunter. They did it last year. I remember Travis being frustrated in the game because they were trying to do a lot to make sure that he wouldn't get the ball.
Yeah.
And I'm confident that they're going to do that again. But what did that mean? That meant other guys got opportunities, such as Tavares Dawson.
Yep.
He scored 2 touchdowns in that game, I believe. So it'll be LeJontay this time, who I think gets the extra opportunities. I was close to picking Will Shepherd, though, but I really think this will be a big one for LeJontay.
The question I was asked the most this week is, who's starting at running back? How many carries is Dallin going to get? I picked Dallin as my offensive player of the game. What he showed last week, just in space, especially run after the catch, I think is going to be big for this offense.
He's a violent runner.
He is, and Coach Pollock kind of said, it's kind of the same defense from last year. We know this defense wants to drop back and play zone.
Yeah.
Kind of let Shedeur figure it out through the game. How do you beat that? You check it down underneath. You let your athletes do some work. So I think we'll see Dallin plenty of opportunities running the football and catching the football to make some plays in space.
I love it, Jake. I saw the guy at practice this week. He's a thumper, man. Like, he and Mike have a similar running style. I'm going to go with the upperclassmen, the playing experience in this kind of big game environment, transferring from Ohio State. If you had me pick a back, I would go with you on Dallin Hayden.
Love it. I also just want to tell Captain Tyler that we got the football game on back here. If you want to, you can flip yourself around and watch the game.
I've been trying to convince him he's not in the shot. He doesn't believe me.
Yeah, he can do whatever he
He's
wants.
like, there's no way I'm not on camera.
It's tied on us. Yeah, you're good.
It also doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. Like,
Actually, we should just give him.
You can really just sit right here. Like, you can join the show.
You want to hop on? Let's go.
Yeah, come on, hop on. Pod King, driver extraordinaire.
All right. Well, we'll let Tyler say hi first, and then we'll get to defense. The red button. There you go. Chat.
This is the man who got us here, chat.
A lot of questions about who is driving this thing. So, chat, here you go. Meet Tyler Ziskin. What's up, brother?
What's up?
Hey, you know what I loved about Tyler? When he first walked up to the bus this morning, it's like, this is a big ass dude. This is a fucking giant, man.
I wish I could take credit for that, but I was just born.
I appreciate having Tyler around me in locations such as this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'm wearing my better dead than red shirt on, getting
but
sideways
you got an enforcer with you.
And then they see Tyler and they're like, all right, whatever, let's let him go.
I can definitely say that's happened a lot in my life.
Tyler,
a lot of my friends.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. We talked about it from our perspective. Give us your perspective driving over here today.
It was great. I mean, this thing is beautiful.
Yes.
I knew it was going to be big, but I didn't realize it. There's like there's a real floor.
Yeah.
You know, like there's
got tile
there's 3
floors.
beds.
3 beds. Yeah.
Crazy.
Unfortunately, you haven't been able to enjoy the amenities. This is the first time you've actually done anything but sit in the captain's chair.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the job.
It is.
Got to get you here. Make sure that people get the content they signed up for. You know what I'm
Job
saying?
well damn done.
I mentioned it earlier on the video I posted on Twitter, but Tyler, actually an experienced Buffs podcaster, had retired from the game. I just brought him out of retirement to sit here.
I was on one previous DNVR show last year, I think, during the Nuggets playoffs, maybe.
No, you popped on
That
during
was
March
Madness.
That's
right.
Yes.
He hasn't even had a Coors Light, and he's not high.
Yeah, that's right.
Nope.
That's
Chat
debatable.
doesn't believe me either way.
But yeah, I did retire.
That's debatable.
But
Well, welcome
it's
back.
good to be back.
All right,
man.
we can keep it rolling here.
Yeah.
We're going. We did offense.
Defense.
I know you need a reminder.
RK and I have the same guy, so you go on.
And mine is the guy whose last name I never want to butcher.
Okunlola.
Sammy Sachs. And man, I'm basing this just off energy. I mean, he's like Captain Tyler. He's a big fucker. Like I think he matches up well.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be able to penetrate. I'm looking for a couple tackles for loss, and maybe even a sack or two, man.
So okay, I already kind of pre-picked my guy.
Yeah.
But watching Nebraska, the right tackle is their biggest weakness on offense. So the fact that you picked a pass rusher, I think, is the right move.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I base it on, man. I saw something there. I love looking. Here's what I look for. You guys know this because we talked about it last year at the show. But to the new audience out there, first thing I look for, Tyler, is who on their team could play for Coach Prime, like talent wise. Like who would make Coach Prime's roster? Who from over there would he give a scholarship to? And so I watch those guys. Then I watch units. And when I looked at the offensive line, when you go on that right side, I see opportunity there. What do we get it? Is it going to happen? I don't know, but I think that is the path of least resistance.
Yep.
I love it. I'll go first. I mean, should be obvious probably for me, but Cam Sumlin-Craig.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, did you pick that?
Why?
Because I wanted to pick it.
Oh, okay.
And I picked first.
And Jake picked it too, so we could have gone 3 for 3.
It should have been 3 for 3 because that's a great pick.
He's built for games like this,
Absolutely.
man.
Yep.
Brings the energy, the dog mentality. The crowd is going to fuel him. That is going to get him more into this game.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think I can say it any better than he is built for this moment. He's built for these atmospheres.
Yeah.
And he's going to be absolutely chomping at the bit because he didn't get to really play last week with the injury. He's going to be ready to go.
You're knowledgeable. I love it, man.
Thanks,
like,
man.
Go with this guy. If you ever have doubt, or in the chat, if you ever have a doubt, go with Arcade's picks. When in doubt.
Thank you.
Because you can't spell twerk without Arcade.
It's true. You want to well, go ahead.
I also picked Cam. I mean, he really balled out in this game last year. I think he had an interception and forced a fumble. He's just an X factor when he's on the field, and it really hurt not having him last week. I think he's hungry, like you said. He's ready to go for this one. And I think you're going to see a noticeable difference in the first half defense, especially from last week to this week, just because Cam is on the field.
Totally agree. The communication that he does, the leadership he has, no knock on any of the backup safeties. It's kind of like what Coach Hart was saying about his linebackers. You know, it's not saying that there's a talent drop-off, but sometimes there can be a leadership or passion drop-off, just style.
Yeah.
And there is no other Cameron Sumlin-Craig on this team. Like, you can't replace him.
Tyler, you want to give us a defensive player of the game?
I'll throw something in there. We all know I love Cam. Let's just throw that out there. But I think the interior D-line needs to play well if we have a chance in this game. So I would throw Shane Cokes in there.
Nice. He almost picked him.
Yeah. So
we were together. I had Shane as 1A.
Yeah, this is especially this game, but football in general is a lines game, right? You got to dominate the trenches. Nebraska has experience on both lines, but for us to take that next level, I think interior. We did a good job against the run in game one. This is a little different beast. So let's see what we can do.
One thing we got to do is we got to take former podcaster off your name. You're not you're too talented to be former. This guy knows what the hell he's talking about. He watches football clearly.
I miss the free balling pod deeply. Uncle Neely would have loved that pod.
There's nothing like free balling, man. There's nothing like it.
It was a fun time.
It was. Do you want to throw in an offensive player too while we're here?
Oh, we can go back. No one said Will Shepherd, right?
Nope.
Yeah, I think for me, Will Shepherd is.
What have y'all been hiding this guy?
I don't know if it's today, but I'm going to pick it for today. But he is impressive.
Yeah,
he's going to make some catches that people around the country are going to be talking about at some point this year.
Definitely.
Totally agree. The hands, the size, the battles when they do 1s, 2s, or however they split it up. The battles that he and Carter Stottmeyer have. And it's because they're similar size. Great pick. I'm looking for Will Shepherd to have a breakout any game now.
To go back to what you said about Cokes, though, he had a good game, I thought, last week. But, man, he was so close to making some big-time plays, tackles in the backfield and stuff. So,
and to the chats out there and the fans, Jake, to that point, and clearly Captain Tyler knows it because of the names he's calling, sometimes you got to watch football and not watch the ball.
Yes.
Shane Cokes has big games, and the stats just don't show it.
Yeah.
Like 100%. He forces the play the other way, and somebody else gets the tackle for loss. But he pushed it that way.
Yep.
Or the times he gets the quarterback hurry, and it's an overthrown pass, and people see, and the DB is back there doing the seatbelt.
Yeah.
When it was really Shane Cokes that made that happen. So if Nebraska is going to be traditionally what they do, just hard nosed power. Running football, we got to have exceptional D-line play to stop that, and I like Cokes as well. Yep. 99.
Sleeper.
I like that guy, man.
Sleeper of the game.
Not just the driver, a ball knower as well.
He knows ball.
Former ball knower.
I picked, just because in these kind of rivalry games, even with our high-powered offense, this can be a close one. This can be a stalemate. So as my sleeper, I picked Mata. Because this could be like Arizona and come down to a field goal.
Yeah. Great pick. I picked Hank Zielinskis. Last week, people were coming for him, right?
Yeah.
And he did get pushed back a bit, kind of bullied a bit by the defensive line. He's going to have his work cut out for him tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
But I think that he's going to respond. The kid can play, man. We saw it last year routinely when he came in for Van.
Like it,
so I think that it's going to be a point of emphasis for this interior offensive line to match up with Nebraska's interior defensive line, assert themselves, run the ball, protect Shador. So I'm looking – I picked Hank Zielinskis, but all three. Khalil, Justin, and Hank, I think will all have a great game tomorrow.
And I think it should be mentioned because there are going to be plays where those guys get into the backfield.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So Hank can have a great game, and those guys can still make plays. If you're looking at Nebraska's strength across their entire team, it is those two defensive tackles in the middle.
Yes.
I mean, they might have the best 1-2 punch on the interior defensive line in the country. So those guys have their work cut out for them big time. And so don't look at 1 or 2 plays, even 3-4 plays getting blown up in the backfield and say that those guys had a terrible game. If they keep them at bay, that is a good game for the interior offensive line.
And to that, RK, again, don't watch the ball. Watch how guys move. To that point, don't just judge running backs tomorrow on carries and yards. Also judge them on pass protection.
Absolutely.
Because they're going to be needed to stand back there and help some before they roll out. They got to chip a guy to do something. And when you look at like Omari Miller, those 2 blocks he had last week, I don't care he didn't catch a pass. Like, we got first downs off his blocks. And if we can get that, get a successful – if we can get a successful completion because a running back stayed back and helped pick up one of these 2 guys – who cares if he only carried it 6 times? He did his job.
Agreed.
Love it.
My sleeper is Terrell Timmons.
82. For those who don't know, number 82, watch him.
Yep. Coach Pollock said it. He had a great camp. I thought maybe of the receivers he had the best. Will Shepherd had the best at the open practice. But the second best I thought was probably Terrell Timmons. Body control, hands. route running, a lot of the things you love. I don't know if he had a snap last week.
I think he played.
And I don't think that's going to be true tomorrow. I think you see him get out there, and even if it's just 2 big catches, I think he could make an impact on the game.
Yep.
Love it.
You have a sleeper, Tyler?
Yeah, I can come up with one for sure. I would say Arden Walker. I'll go back to the defense.
Let's go.
So.
Nice pick.
I'm about to throw this fucking headset and walk off this bus.
For me,
this
it's
is
just
a genius.
He's just underappreciated and always has been in my opinion.
Yes.
I think he's a guy who just makes small plays. Always in the right spot. He's had a couple big moments last year, and I think they trust him. He's not a guy that he's never going to have 12 tackles in a game or anything like that. But he's in the right spot, and back to that.
This guy knows ball.
That defensive line run stopping. They're going to need him tomorrow, in my opinion.
You take all those attributes you just pointed out and add Taj McCoy's name to that list as well. Same kind of player, never going to hurt you, always doing the right thing, works hard at practice, good football IQ, may not show up in the stat sheets like fans look for or expect, but they make a true impact on the game. I love that Walker pick, man. I think I'm going to drive us back and let him just take my spot. This guy knows ball and our personnel.
Speaking of sleeper, I just opened up the Sleeper Picks app, and I'm building my my combo here. I've got us up to, where does it say, 6.59x. So you can't combine pass yards with receiving yards and vice versa. You can't combine rush yards with rush TDs, etc. So I've combined here to go with a kind of sleepers based on what happened last week, and still put together a nice little combination. So tell me what you guys think of this. LeJontay Wester, more than 61.5 receiving yards.
Yes.
Will Shepard, more than 43.5 receiving yards. And Shedeur Sanders, more than 2.5 pass touchdowns.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
check.
If things go the way we need them to, for sure.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
I
Colorado
love it.
wins if that hits, too.
So open up the Sleeper Picks app, download it, get on there, put this together, and you can get 6.5 times your money. So I'm going to put in, I'll probably throw a 20 piece on there. Returns 131 if we get it right.
Let's do it.
There you go.
Back you up on that.
Best of luck. Shout out
Alpine Garage Sports. They like what we've been picking, but they want to add Hayes for that defensive player. Sabrina Walters, who clearly knows ball as well, she says, hey, not so fast. Love your Arden Walker, but she's adding in Preston Hodges.
Nice, Preston Hodges.
Preston, man.
Baller.
That's a good sleeper.
Baller.
That's a good sleeper.
That's it. That is Nebraska pregame show.
I
Next
love
time
it,
we
man.
talk to the people, post game.
We probably got to go grab some we got to go check into our hotel. Got to grab some food as a team.
I need to play college football.
Jake needs to play video games. Allie needs a drink.
Oh, we do need to read Super Chats. Damn.
We need to read Super Chats. And I would like to run into some Buffs fans in downtown Lincoln.
All right. Well, let's get a move on with these Super Chats then.
How are we going to do this?
Can she? Yeah. Thank you, man.
Captain Tyler.
Thanks, Tyler.
Thank you, Tyler.
You're a legend. That was an impressive performance.
I mean, it spurred a moment.
Can you slide the camera for RK again? Thank you. Appreciate you. Okay, let's fire through these. Spencer Smith, Buffs 45, Corton 17, calling an optimistic season, 10-2.
Let's go.
I am
Let's go,
Coach
Spence.
Eddie, $1.99 super chat. The Cape Crusader, if Colorado wins, what do you think the excuses the haters will have? People just seem to hate Deion Sanders so bad that they've made up their minds.
Freshman quarterback.
Exactly. Freshman quarterback. He's not ready yet. If they got him next year, they would have taken him down.
Nebraska's only in year 2 of a rebuild.
Yep.
The sun was in my eyes.
Yeah.
It's like when I lost on Jeopardy and I said my buzzer wasn't working.
Is that an actual story?
Hambadge says, world-class content. Can't wait for the celebratory milepost Century Club stream on the ride back. Kers Light.
Let's go. Kers
Shout out, Hambash.
I can't wait to have another one.
I am Coach Eddie. Blindsides, blitzing, and confusing the quarterback is key.
Yes.
Yeah.
Super chat from TW, he says.
Let's go.
Book of the Wild, 52-34 CU rolls. Defense put on a masterclass of disguising coverage, and Raiola throws 3 interceptions.
Oh, let's go.
Love
Huge.
it.
B. Wilk Super Chat says, yesterday, due to work issues, I wore my red Milwaukee t-shirt. When I noticed the travesty, I immediately changed into Buffs gear. I'm self-reporting my violation and hoping for leniency. Go Buffs.
Self-reporting is the best policy.
It is the best policy.
You're forgiven.
It's always going to be leniency when you self-report.
Yeah.
This was not a Nebraska weekend. This was years ago. I made the mistake of wearing a red polo and khakis to Target.
Oh, I've done that too.
My God, 6 people asked me for help.
No way.
It was like, I do not work here.
I actually did do that once.
Dude, never do that.
Red was a color of my high school, so back then I did have red in my wardrobe.
Never wear red polo and khakis to Target unless you're stealing.
Just that other one from...
Then it's a good idea.
Oh, no, you can walk out with anything.
From Lone Wolf that we read earlier. Outside looking in, I see CU this year being how Jackson State was their second year.
Huge.
Good super chat.
Super chat from Barron says, at RK, it's all coming together. Penny Lane, #almost famous.
I love it.
Matt Goldstein, does the team realize how disrespected they are by being 7-point dogs to a team they crushed last year and having the best quarterback and college player?
Absolutely. It's one of those things you talk about it, Captain T, with bulletin board material. But this team doesn't need motivation like that. But it's one of those things. It's a fine line. Do they block out the noise? Yes. But they are aware of the noise.
Right.
And so they know that this is somebody we whooped last year. Well, I think 5 fumbles and recovered 3 or 4 of them. They were after these guys last year, and the score wasn't even close. And now to come here with upgraded rosters, upgraded talent, and be 7-point, they are aware. They are aware.
Last one here from Sweet Caroline, Super Chat. She says, let's go Buffs. Can't wait till tomorrow.
Thank you,
RG.
Caroline.
What would we do without RG, man?
I don't know.
Just the antics, man.
This whole crew is just top-notch.
Top-notch antics and shenanigans.
That's it?
That is it.
Go Buffs!
Last minute one from SLIC Show Love. Love the show. Buffs 42-21.
I haven't said this all week, so I will sign us off with 2 words that I've been dying to say on this show all week. Fuck Nebraska.
Let's go Buffs.
Omaha!
We all silly like the mayor.